Hello, hello everyone. It's Crystal Lee Lucier here, also known as your Home Sweet Home 519 Realtor, Crystal Lee. This is Realtor Life. And guys, I have a treat for you today. So, our guest today, Linda. Hi, Linda.
Hi.
So, Linda is the founder and chief visionary officer and all the things for Lead Tribes. Now, if Lead Tribes sounds familiar, it's because I have been talking about it nonstop for the last few months. And it is amazing. But what I'm going to do is right away, before we get into all the fun, Linda, what is Lead Tribes? What
Oh
is it?
gosh, thank you. What an intro. Okay, so Lead
Yeah.
Tribes is the heart and soul of who I am to bring entrepreneurs together in a
Yes.
really supportive way. And like that's it. It's about being leaders in tribes of support. And
Yes.
so yeah. So I'm very
Love
excited that
it.
you've been talking about it and we get to talk more about it today. Thank
Oh
you
my
for
gosh,
having
so
me.
much. Lead Tribes, so as Linda said, like it really is about bringing people together. And what's cool, the reason that I moved my group over to Lead Tribes is that you have a group in a city, and that's great and it's amazing. And if you're part of one of those in a city and you're like, okay, like love it, support local, yay. But this is one level up from that, where you have your group and you're connected with other groups in several other cities. And Linda, who is, I don't even know how you get it all done, but she makes it her mission to make sure that we're all connected and that there are opportunities for us to connect as a bigger group to support each other internally. And it's beautiful. So yeah, if you want more information, I will put Linda's info in the show notes. You can also check out www.leadtribes.com and you can see actually all the members. And I think, how many are we up to, Linda?
125 today.
Woo, woo! That's
Yes, yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's shift backwards for a second. So I guess the first question I have, because prior to Lead Tribes, you were also in the mortgage broker space.
Yes.
Did you always know, did young Linda know that she was going to go down this path? Was this the plan?
Somebody
And if
just
not, what was the plan?
someone just asked me when I was a kid, what did you think you were going to be when you grew up? I was like, I was going to be a dentist. Yeah, that didn't even come close. So as a mortgage agent, then become broker, I quickly realized that networking really was the way to go.
Yeah,
And so that journey took me to joining a networking group that was working well, and
yeah,
I learned a lot from it. So yeah, I had no idea. And even in 2019 when I started Lead Tribes, it was just an idea for me. That's it.
yeah.
Yeah. So no, I had no idea.
Okay, fair enough. And I mean, and things evolve, right? So, and I think it really depends on how, like you mentioned, you had been in a networking group. A lot of people know who are listening here anyway, know my story where I moved to a city where I didn't know anyone. And so I naturally evolved into what ends up being the same as the Lead Tribes model, um, just be out of necessity. Like I had to meet people. I had no idea. So and I love people, right? Just like you, we share that passion for people and helping. Um, and it really comes down to and I think you've mentioned it before, like a lot of the times, and some of these bigger groups, and no shade if you're in a different kind of group, but sometimes it feels very transactional, right? And you really go out of your way to show us the power of the relationship.
Nice. I like that you said it like that. It's transactional or pressured.
Yes,
Like those are the two things that come to mind when I've gone other where out in the wild networking.
yes,
Sometimes it's no structure, sometimes there's no direction, and you're really like, okay, who's running this? And it becomes a little
yes,
chaotic. So there's all of that out there. I love what you said is like you had a group, it was going well.
yeah,
And so, but how do you elevate? So there are, of course, there are offshoots of all these, like a little mastermind and things like that. So I really wanted to find the balance. I know it sounds crazy because does balance exist? But in the networking world, it can and it
yeah,
does, which
yeah,
is why Lead Tribes is opening like everywhere so quickly, so fast. But ultimately, we have the balance of the structure, but we have the balance of flexibility, and we have a culture like no other.
It
I
is
can
so good.
honestly say.
Yes. Yeah, no, it is so good. And one of the cool things, so when I joined, and I'm assuming this happens annually, um, it's all I've known on my journey. But there's an awards kind of celebration dinner. And I remember I had kind of you and I had talked, and I was ready to say yes because we had been like going back and forth for like 6 years on this, right? I was ready to say yes, but I wanted to like I finally said yes, and I was like I just wanted to like confirm that it was the right move, right? Because I mean, it sounds great, but like what I had no context, right? Unlike a lot of people, we invite them into meetings. I hadn't been to a meeting. I was just like, this sounds great. Sign me up. Walking into that room that you of relationships that you built and you curated in January, no less, which I don't like going anywhere in January. It's so cold. Wow. Like you felt the energy. And the thing is, like, you did that, right? So you felt this energy. Sometimes you go into a room, and guys, you can all attest to this. You go into a room, especially a networking event, and there's like a whole group of people, and they all know each other, and you don't know any of them, and you can feel really awkward or uncomfortable. But everyone that I met that night was warm and welcoming and excited. And that really speaks to the culture that you built.
Oh, thank you. Well, I think you can appreciate in the realtors that follow you, the well-known established the agency, they have a no assholes policy. And I didn't want to quite be so bold. And you know what? Like good for him. I'm glad he put that out there. However, my softer version of that for lead tribes is no egos.
Yes,
Because the fact is that entrepreneurs are the biggest risk takers in the
yes,
world, and we put it all out on the line. We work 80 hours a week, like we do the crazy things, and so we don't need to be micromanaged. We don't need to be schooled. And I wanted to just have that safe space to evolve
yes,
without judgment. No one's better than anyone else. We're all here because of the decisions we've made in our lives, and all of them are respectable. So we're all on different parts of the journey to getting the gold medal. Isn't that what we're all doing?
yes,
So I think it is cool that the culture is really welcoming and warm, no matter what tribe you go to. And I keep hearing that over and over, which does make me super proud, that we are attracting these types of people where anybody can just feel like they belong. That's what
yes,
somebody said the other day. I just felt like I belonged. Even in our workshop, which was just a couple weeks
yes,
ago, one of the guests said, I felt like I belonged there and I never had been to anything with lead tribes before. So again, we exist, us unicorns. That's what I feel like sometimes. And so it's just a no ego zone. That's all.
yes. I love that. Now, you just said something I'd like to go back to. So you talked about your event. Tell us about your event.
Well, that was a first. I was very excited to host the referrals to revenue because we can be really good at getting referrals and giving
Yes,
referrals. And then how do you know what happens next? And so, again, it is a referral triangle if you think about it. And a lot of people don't think about it because we do get busy. I get that. But when you do have opportunities, sometimes we don't even always see the opportunities. So the whole workshop was about converting those referrals
yep,
into closed business and sort of what can happen in between, some things to watch out for, some things not to do. And plus, we had a few hacks. And then we did something really, really cool with like, 65 not very familiar with each other people in the room, and we did a live in real time ask for business for referrals, and it was like popcorn. Like literally we had people standing in this whole room, and a lot of seasoned business owners, which I respect,
yes,
and afterwards said to me, Linda, I didn't know if I should put my hand up. I didn't know if I should stand up. And I think to myself, see, guys, no matter what, we do that. We do this internal, like, oh, I don't
yes,
know if I should stand up. I don't know if I should raise my hand. And the worst thing is that you will get what you want.
Yes.
So when you're afraid to ask for business or you're afraid to ask for referrals, I want people to think, and you kind of mentioned talking to the newer entrepreneur, if your mouth is closed, so is your business.
Ooh,
So if
that's a,
you
yeah,
if you don't talk about it and you don't have the courage to ask for business, and yes, it takes time to
yeah,
ask, but in particular, we had Debbie Slews in the room who stood up and
yes,
asked for a connection to breakfast television, and within seconds, she got it. And then we had other people asking for like some pretty big stuff,
yeah,
like pretty big things. So, because the point was, with not knowing everybody at a workshop, clearly you don't know people enough and you don't know how they work. And so there's all of that. But the point was to ask for someone who could move the needle in your business.
yeah,
So that's where it gave you that chance to yeah, to be like, oh, okay, yeah, they just want an introduction, right? Very, very informal, but
yeah,
still like it was on camera. So I was like, if you put your hand up to give a connection, you're going to make that connection. And it happened and it was real. And so within,
nice.
I don't know how many minutes we did it for, but there was 25 at least introductions done and people were
Amazing.
so thrilled and happy and excited to do it. And so maybe by the end of this podcast, Crystal, I'll have to release the date of the next one.
Well,
Maybe I'll
that
do
would be
that today.
exciting. Oh God, that would be very exciting. I had to miss this event. I mean, I was on a wellness retreat in Jamaica, and there is an episode on my Remember a Member podcast for the LEA
Awesome.
where it documents that. But I was very sad to not be there. So I'm excited to go. Um,
Yes.
you mentioned something that's interesting, and I think when we're talking about referrals, um, asking people for something specific that will move the needle versus, um, hey guys, my name's Crystal. I would love if you know anyone looking to buy or sell a house, let me know. I mean, yeah, of course I would love them to let me know, but they're probably not going to because that's a very broad ask and they might forget or they just, right? Like it's just so broad. But if you were to go specific, like, hey guys, I have buyers that are looking for this specific type of house. Does anyone have you guys talked to anyone that might be thinking of selling this type of house? Right? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, actually, my friends Bob and Sarah, they said that they might be moving, and it sounds like they're in that neighborhood. Like, ooh, right? So and again, it doesn't mean it's going to happen and it's going to turn into business necessarily, but you're teaching the people around you to think about you and you're thinking about them at the same time.
100%. There's one word I'd like to ask everybody to remove from when they ask for business is saying anyone. That does not let me visualize who
Yeah,
you are looking for.
yeah,
So, weekly at our Lead Tribes meetings, I have coached on the spot to say, ask your ask again without using that word.
love that.
Anyone who needs a home, anyone who needs financing, I could help anyone with a financial plan. Don't do that. Don't do that. This week, I'm looking for clients or a customer who's expecting a baby. Great. Immediately, I can picture that, right? So those are the types of things. And then the next week, when it's something different that you're looking for, and the reason why we have to ask over and over and over again for business is that it's like the weather. Markets change, who you want to attract in your business changes, your properties change. So now
Yes,
you've got a different client you're looking for. So we have to get really good at asking. And
yes,
where do you go to ask for business and get good at that?
yeah.
You have to
Directly.
have a safe space.
Yeah,
And so that is another thing that Lead Tribes offer is that safe space to just say, okay, how did I do? Because your fellow entrepreneurs that are super interested in making sure that you win,
yeah,
will tell you the truth,
for
right?
sure. No,
And
it's so
so
true.
that, yeah.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And I think I also want to point something out. Like we, the only person that should be focused on our own business 24/7 is us, right? So oftentimes we'll have like colleagues or people being like, they'll say to me, oh, I'm so upset. My insert name of loose relationship bought a house
Mhm.
with someone else. And I'll ask, I'll say, oh, that's too bad. Like it is too bad. And it sucks. But the questions then come, oh, like when had you seen them? Do they know that you're a realtor? And it oftentimes it'll happen like if it's at like, oh, like I always go to watch my kids play this sport. But I don't want to talk about business. Like that's kind of tacky. And you're like, okay, like did they know that you're a realtor? Well, yeah, when I met them 2 years ago, I said I'm in real estate. Okay. You didn't remind them anything. Like you nothing. So what I don't know, you might know the numbers. There's something like 3 to 5 things we can remember in every category at a time. And that's why, like, whether it's chips, whether it's pop brands, whether it's people, we need to keep on hang on to that real estate, right? So you can't tell someone
Yeah.
that you're a realtor and then never say anything again, or same thing with mortgage, and then be like and be upset legitimately because they didn't think of you. It's our job to help them think of us, right?
Oh my gosh. So talking about numbers in this context, 65% of the people will leave you because they think you didn't care, because
Yeah.
you just didn't stay in touch. And that's not the truth. The truth is, as entrepreneurs, are super caring about everybody who comes into our space, our world, our database.
Yes.
So therefore, like you just said, it's our business to
Yes.
keep asking and talking about business. And I want you to think about, and anyone listening, thinking about it this way, because I just preface like, if your mouth is closed, so is your business. But
Yes.
here's even more important than that. If you don't ask, so you're blocking your own gift. You have a gift to
Yes.
give to the world, right? And so there's only you who can do it your way. So think about, you're not helping people if you keep yourself a secret.
Yes.
And so you have to kind of overcome that and put it into the coffee, the coffee shop or the grocery lineup or the gas bar or the lottery ticket lineup or the post office, like wherever you're banking in line. Like
Yep.
you just have to infuse it and share your gift. Think about this, because you can't help enough people just because you kept your mouth closed, right?
Oh,
So
absolutely.
so that's sort of where that yeah,
Yeah.
we got to do that. We have to take care of that. That is, the
Yep.
ownership is on us.
And sometimes, like if that feels uncomfortable, guys, there are little hacks. Like I know, I do this, and I know some other agents do this. And I mean, we're realtors and entrepreneurs here, right? So anyone can do this. But let's go back to that sports analogy where you're watching. Throw on some swag. Like I'm
Yeah.
sure, right? Get a hat because I mean, Linda and I reconnected because I run a lot of groups, and one of the realtors that runs the Niagara Tribe, Michael, showed up wearing his Lead Tribe sweater, and I went again. How I don't have room in my head for a lot of things. I went, oh my gosh, Linda and I were supposed to connect last November, December, and here it is January. I need to reach out, and it was that trigger. So Michael, like he didn't say anything. And much like you don't like it doesn't have to be you don't have to be that annoying hard sell person. You wear it, someone goes, "Oh, that's right. You're in real estate. You're in mortgages, you're in finance, you're a banker, whatever." And then they will have questions because people always have questions once they know, especially if you haven't initiated that first, "Hey, like we're watching the kids. Want to buy a house?"
Smooth, Crystal,
Yeah,
smooth.
thank you. Thank you. Um, right? But it's
Yeah.
it's so like there's little things because I think a lot of the time we panic because we're like, oh my gosh, what will they think of me? I'm like, well, at least they'll think of you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think there is a time and a place for everything, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
But like you said, the polite Canadian way would be to just wear it,
Yep.
right? And be wearing your own brand, for goodness sakes. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Or sponsor the team then, if you want to
Yes.
be, right, go next level.
Yes.
Sponsor the team, get your logo out there, have people asking like, which mom or dad was that? Oh, cool. And or at least sponsor the year-end pizza party or what have
Yeah.
you. There's different ways to do it, for sure, for
So
sure.
and then so creative. Okay,
Yeah.
so question for you. So when you, I'm sure like this, so Lead Tribes is in its just celebrated or just about to celebrate its seventh year.
Yes, I know.
Congratulations.
Yay.
Very exciting.
Thank you.
So I feel like there's been lessons learned along the way.
Oh, yeah.
If you could go back to Linda in 2019, what are like three things that you wish you kind of had known to make, I mean, we all deal with obstacles and bumps, but three things that you know now that you didn't know then that could have made it a little easier at the start.
Hmm. So the first one that's popping up for me is tr I should have trusted myself faster along
Okay.
the process. Like I
Yep.
was a little like that was one thing for sure that I was like, I don't know, I don't know. And so looking back now, I probably could have trusted myself faster.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, that just comes with time as well as confidence and all the things. So when you're newer, right? So that's probably one for everybody. The other ones that I'm going to say is space. I think that we just want everything so fast and we want it now. And so
Yeah.
when I learned the most was by stepping back, actually
Okay.
stepping back and having that sort of bird's eye view, or having someone else take a look at the business
Yes.
and say, oh, you could do this or you could do this, and I'm recommending this. So I think the space to look back at things, because we're always so go and like forward, like gotta keep
Yeah.
moving. So that's for sure. And then my last one, because I'm very like you, I'm very high standards and I'm very hard on myself.
Yes.
So I actually have had to learn, um, and I still have hard time sometimes 7 years into this, but is to give myself grace,
Yes.
to make a mistake or to learn or to pivot or just be like, well, I could have done better. And not like lose sleep. Like I'm talking about losing 2 weeks of sleep over something that happened.
Yep.
And it takes time to just not be that hard on myself and get up the next day and be like, well, I learned my lesson from that one
Yes.
and not lose sleep over it. So that's the grace that I've had to learn really to give myself.
I love that. I always call that dug into that a little bit on this podcast, which is like your bounce back ratio, like how like stuff's gonna happen, right? And
Totally, totally.
the more you go down a path, your bounce back gets shorter and shorter.
Yep.
Um, and I used to like I get very emotionally invested in my clients, and
Yeah.
when there's something where you just aren't treated right or something just especially when you care so much, I would find
Yeah.
like yeah, like a week and I'm just like, oh, maybe I should quit. Um, and it was actually Sue's Coming. So Sue's Coming is a very like she's a top negotiating expert. So she runs the AREN and PREN courses for realtors for negotiation. And we had her on the podcast, and it was so funny because she gave me a really simple solution, which in Sue's language is just very simple. And of course, like, why didn't I think of this? Care less. Don't stop caring. Just
Mhm.
care less.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, if something is going to take you out of your creative and your magic and all the things you give to so many people, then it's not worth losing the sleep over. Because think about the people, and this is more, it was advice for me, but I think it resonates for everyone. Um, like think about for me like a week or 2 weeks, think about what you're not able to help with, like those gifts that you could be giving out, and basically like you're almost taking them from people that need them. um but yeah, it's a learned thing, and I think it I'm not 100% there yet. I'm getting there. But it's all the advice, right? Like you take advice from people. So I love that you've learned it, and I hope guys know like this 7 years journey. How many people did you have when you started? Do you know?
15.
15. Okay, so
Yeah.
15, 125,
Yeah.
right? And it was a bumpy journey because you had a little pandemic in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Just a little global pandemic. No big
Yeah,
deal.
but there was gifts in the pandemic as well
Yeah.
because that made me realize well, 100,000 businesses closed during the pandemic. So that made me realize Oh my goodness. Like, what could I do to help? Like, Canada's backbone of economy is small business owners. And so I also realized that half of my group, when everything opened back up again to go in person, and boy, I had some chomping at the bit to get back into the restaurant
Yep.
and to meet in person. But the other half said, no, I'm good. I'm going to stay in my pajamas. I'm going to save on gas and I'm going to stay here online. And I was like, oh, okay. And then, so then I had two tribes. That literally is what happened. And I was like, okay, no problem. I can run too. I can go in person, then I can do this one. And
Yep.
so that literally made me understand that I have to create a duplication of other tribes.
Yep.
And that was what allowed me to then end up growing. Like I
Yeah.
said, it was an idea for myself. It was never a business model. It was never like, oh, how can I make more money or how can I start another company? Oh my gosh, no. I was very busy in my other business. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, but so thanks to pandemic, that
Yeah.
happened like that. Yeah.
That's amazing. And that's a really great way to look at like just flipping something. So I'll tell you a funny story. So, I think you'll find this funny. I find it funny. So back in 2014 or 15, you and I have a mutual friend, and they reached out. I had reached out to say, can we have coffee? And the answer I got back was, I'd love to have coffee. Can we? I'm going to send you a Zoom link. I can't do it in person. Let's do a virtual coffee. Linda, I was so offended. I was like, if you don't have time to sit in front of me, we will just reschedule. I'm not going to talk to you on the computer. I was just like, and this is like young me. I've been in a realtor for like 3 years. I'm like, you know what? You're obviously too busy. We'll wait. And then like fast forward a week, like a month before the pandemic, I I had moved like 8 months before the pandemic to London, but I ran a group in Guelph and I was like, no problem, drive back and forth because it was in person, but it was like a snowstorm. So I said, guys, this is so weird. Can we do the meeting on, and this is January 2020. Like, can we do the meeting online? Like, it's gonna feel weird, but like we can't get together. Like, I don't want anyone driving in this. We had it, loved it, and thank goodness because soon that was what we had. And now I love virtual coffees. And I just think sometimes really like young people, even our younger selves, are a little bit silly in their absolutes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love it. But see, it's opened up a whole other world. And
It
so,
has.
yeah, yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yeah,
And I'm so happy that like with our London tribe, we have rotating. So we have in person because the thing is, as much as it's nice to do this, there's magic that happens in person.
of course.
But everyone said like the people that we were when we were first building, I couldn't get the buy-in to do it every week in person, but they
Right.
were okay with blocking the time and meeting virtually every 2 weeks. So it's a cool little hybrid, and we keep that connection.
Exactly.
Yeah, the weekly is a great model, and I'm really happy that you chose that.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I have been saying because people can't actually sometimes have a hard time getting their head around weekly for my business. It's like, okay, so guys, I want you to think about it this way. Weight Watchers is the most successful weight loss in program in the world because they make you stand on a scale once a week in front of someone else.
Ah,
So that is
okay.
why Lead
Yes.
Tribes is weekly because if you don't check in, you're going to start checking out. And so it's just to that one time touch throughout the week,
Yes.
it does something for accountability. I was actually going to say one of the other reasons that I love how you and I have been connected for so many years was based on a foundation of being coachable. And I think that's another culture that I've infused here at Lead Tribes and your forever learning mindset.
Yes.
And, it continues to serve us to always be open to things and learning new things. But Buffini taught us lots, and
Yes.
lots of the principles that we still use today. And so, I'm forever grateful for that too, because it's another commonality you and I have. So, you
Absolutely.
know, yeah,
Absolutely. Okay, so if when we're talking, so you get to meet a lot of entrepreneurs at various parts of their journey, right? So new
yeah.
people, people that are doing. doing well, people that aren't doing well. So if you if you were to like kind of sum up and don't feel you're not obligated to say three or five, but some advice that you give frequently or that you feel like people need to hear. So, guys, if whatever part of your journey you're on, whether you're starting, restarting, trying to amp up, just deciding like maybe you're doing so well that you want more networking so that you can back out a little bit and figure out maybe you want to learn from people about how to delegate more, like all of these different things. But what would you say to an entrepreneur that comes to you, and you can divide it into new and not new? The world is your oyster, Linda. You are the CEO. So whatever you would normally say or would like to say.
All right. Well, I do get asked a lot, and I do see people in very different stages of business. And the three things that I think are common is that I want you to think about McDonald's. They're the biggest brand of selling anything they sell all over the world. And yet, do they ever stop commercials? Do they ever stop sending you stuff in your mailbox? Do they ever stop their radio ads? They never stop marketing themselves ever, ever, ever. So I think that what happens with seasoned business owners,
Yes.
and not you, but I'm just saying, like, we get to a point where we're like, oh, we're good, the business is good, and I don't have time to network. That's like a death sentence. Like I go, oh my gosh, please don't stop networking. That is the wrong move. Okay, I get we get a busy week or two. Okay, fine. Or you have a conference. Okay, fine. You got to get back into networking. It is the same marketing you're doing, and you're losing all the seeds you've been planting if you don't do it consistently. So that's my number one thing is just don't ever stop. It doesn't matter how busy you are. The other thing I was going to say was being coachable. So always being
Yes.
curious, always going out to things and realizing there's going to be one thing for you to learn in that room or at that workshop or master
Yes.
class or course. Always keep your learning up.
Yes.
So that's for sure. And then so my number one tip really though is to if nothing else, like if nothing else is working, your offers aren't good, something's not working, and you're just like, oh, I'm so stuck. Mastering the skill of connection. If you can master the skill of connection,
Yes.
you won't have to work so hard at creating things or another stream of income or you know what I mean? Like just
Yes.
it's such a missed skill, but of leadership and all the other skills that you people hire for.
Yes.
The number one thing that people will want is for you to be a super awesome magnetic connector.
Yes.
And so I don't know why people glaze over that, but actually take the time, get a system, get a CRM, have a follow-up, build a recipe. What does that look like? Is it a
Yes.
newsletter? All of these things. So you just have to build it once and then tweak it as your journey goes.
Yes.
So I think that people miss that being a master connector.
I love that. That is so important.
Yeah.
And so don't ever stop marketing your business and yourself. Be coachable and master the skill of connection.
Yeah.
Guys, if you don't have a pen and you're listening, listen again later and write these because it is so important. And I mean, it's not a lot of the times you'll hear advice and it can be great advice or not great advice, but it might be from someone that doesn't have the experience. Linda ran a successful business in the mortgage industry. Now, Linda is running a successful business in the networking group. I don't even know what category networking group industry. Um, Whatever it is working. But that's the thing, right? Like this is where when you get to hear from an expert, listen to them because these are like I can't tell you how many times I've had conversations with agents and there's not a system to get to know
hmm
people. It's just,
hmm
like sometimes like I'll get a call and someone I know wants to buy a house and it's great. Like, oh, okay, like how do we systemize that? How do we keep in touch with those people? And if you don't have that relationship, because the master connector, I think you touched on it. Yes, like learn the skills to get in connection in the moment, but it's the follow-up, it's the keep in touch, the CRM. And guys, if you don't know what a CRM is, go back to like a few episodes, like to season two, because but CRM is just a relationship manager, and the best one to use is whatever one you're going to use.
Mhm.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Whatever it makes it easier for you and gives you the least friction so that you can carry out your
Yeah,
execution, that's the best one for you. Whether you make it an Excel spreadsheet or whatever
yeah,
it is, yeah, for sure. And one last thing, because you and I both touched on it on this call,
yeah.
the care less. So my mentor called it loosen the grip.
Ah, I like
Yeah,
that.
just to loosen the grip because, and for me, that was a big one. So there's always learning. And so, there is the times that we do get uptight and we take things personal and then it's emotional and all these things. And so his motto was always just loosen the grip, and which I kind of transferred into like giving myself that space where I'd said to you just to like look back.
Yeah,
But yeah, so that's what I call that too. And it's
that's
important.
cool.
It's important. Yeah.
It is. And the thing is, guys, like it's not, it sounds easy, but as an entrepreneur, you put your time, your emotions, your blood, your sweat, your tears, like you put it all in. So it's
Yep.
not as easy as it sounds to be like, oh, this thing that I've been working my entire life for the last 10 years has has this huge bump in it. Cool.
Well, and
I'm
I
just gonna
think
go off with
too,
my day.
yeah, exactly. And I think too, no matter who's listening here,
Yeah.
no matter what your service is, your product is, the fact is that you're in a relationship business. That's it.
Yes.
Right? So
Absolutely.
why not harness
Yeah.
those skills and into relationships and figure out what that looks like for you and the touch points and knowing, I mean, do people know it takes 21 times to hear, see from you to decide to buy from you or use your services? So holy moly, um,
21. Okay.
21. So you need to build a recipe to get those 21 touch points done faster,
Yes.
but more professional. Those can't be 21 phone calls, by the way, right? Or 21 emails. So it has to be a layering.
Yes.
And so it's an art, and it's just like McDonald's. They're not going to just be in your mailbox ever, always.
Right.
That's not their recipe. So again, it's about the recipe, which we did talk about that at the referrals to revenue
Nice.
workshop as well. Yeah, for sure.
Very cool. Okay. So I have a fun question. I would love to know what you love about running and leading lead tribes.
Ooh. What do I love? The
Yeah, what do you
people.
love?
I mean the people, but the stories. It's the stories. I don't know if you noticed this morning's post that I posted at 7 in the morning was that, yes, it was Mother's Day yesterday, but at the gala, the cold winter day you talked about, I did something special there to
I
give
didn't see that.
away at the end. And so yesterday, one of our members took that $10 and got his little girl, I think she's 4, to give that to a homeless person and take the time to teach her what it means to give to
Yes.
others.
That's so
How cool is that? How cool is that moment was created from an idea that I had at a gala to award people and make them feel good, but then really it's about the impact. So I think that my short answer is that the impact that Lead Tribes is making,
yes.
the universe is keeps showing me and telling me that it's working. It is creating impact for people. These stories, I have to collect them somehow and showcase them somehow.
Yes.
But that's just a simple one from yesterday, which just was so incredible, so incredible.
Guys, if you're wondering what Linda is talking about, I'm gonna share because I feel like she's very generous, but doesn't often like toot her own horn. So at this event, at some I don't remember near the end of the night, Linda said, "Okay, everyone, I have something I want to share." And she said, "I want everyone to look under their seats." Okay, so we all looked under our seats. Every single person in the room had a little manila envelope with a $10 bill in it. And we're like, what's happening? And then can you explain what you told us?
I mean,
What were we
it's
supposed to
about
do with it?
yeah, it's about paying it forward that like we're all here as entrepreneurs and we're working our butts off and we all want to get more business and we all want to grow. But the thing is, and the truth is that it's so much more bigger than we are, and that we need to remember that there are people out there that we can help right now, which was why that $10 was so important because we are driving on the street corners, watching people with signs, seeing that they're homeless and that they need help. And so if that $10 can do that, that's what that point of that was, is that it cannot always be about us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And well, and you also said that night that I loved, you talked about the ripple effect of lead tribes and how we had all come together from all of our different tribes. Like as we said, we had London.
Yeah.
I think people were as far as like
Niagara,
California,
Durham. Yeah.
Niagara, right? So we all came together. We all got the $10. We all spread out to our communities. And all of a sudden, you could be at the grocery store and you see someone outside, which often happens, and they don't have anything. And sometimes you're like, oh, I wish I had some cash on me. Because how often do we have cash on us? Like almost never. But then all of a sudden we have this. And we're able to go to all these communities and give a little bit of love to someone that needs it in that moment. And I just thought that was such a beautiful thing. Um, because you absolutely didn't have to do it. And it really spoke to me about your values and the values of lead tribes. And as a brand new person that night, I was like, this is awesome. I'm like, it's so good. I'm like, I had to go to my car and I had like hypothermia by the time I, I think I parked in front too. I was like, what is this cold? But it was so beautiful. And then I remember talking to my husband on the way home going, like, this was so cool. And it's just, it's the little
Nice.
things. And
It
the
is.
awards night, the gala was beautiful. The food was amazing. The presentations
Yeah.
were amazing. But what stuck with me was that you said, okay, this is great. Now let's go make a difference together.
Yeah, because imagine we had 65 people there who all went out into their communities, and slowly these little stories kept trickling in, like, oh, this week I gave my $10 too. And so that was
Yes.
beautiful, of course, as well. And then yet still yesterday, which is 5 months later, to have our member take his little girl and take that teaching moment was just priceless.
Yes. Well, it also encouraged me too because I oftentimes, like, again, I'll be like, oh, I don't have cash on me. So now I try to keep
Yeah.
cash on me. And then when you run out, you try and go get more for those moments because in the moment, like, it's hard. Like, you probably have, like, especially at a stoplight, maybe like 20 seconds to be like, okay, ready, here you go, before the light screen. And it's yeah, it's not good that we live in a world like that, but what a great tribute to try and help as a group, right? And
Yeah.
that's the thing. They're like being part of this group means so much to so many people.
Yeah, it does. It's been phenomenal, which is what I've said from the beginning, is
Yeah,
phenomenal people who build the phenomenal businesses. And so
yes,
it's been hard at the beginning to find and keep going. And there's been many times where I thought, this is it. I'm going to throw in the towel. I'm done. I'm not sure I can keep going.
yes,
And now I can say, gosh, after 7 years, it's a good thing I didn't quit.
yes,
And that's the only way you truly fail, actually, is when you quit. And so I'm not a quitter, never have been. And but it's more now about this impact, which is my definition of ROI, is
yes,
ripple of impact. That's the ROI that matters.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That is so cool. And I will say, you're not alone. I often say I'm going to quit real estate, like minimum twice a year. I tell my husband, he's like, again? I'm like,
Yeah.
yes. And then I get my mojo back and it's fine.
Yeah.
But um, at the end of the day, as far as I mean, guys, if you're listening to this, you're like, oh, I wish I could be part of Lead Tribes. Fun fact, you can. What's nice is that, so if you're listening and you're in a community that doesn't already have a group, or a community that does have a group but needs more groups, I don't know, I'll let you speak to that. How can someone who wants to get in touch get in touch?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great because you also are a great testament to the fact that you know how to network. You had a little group going or a big group going, but there also, again, there was some systems and things that Lead Tribes brought to the table
Yes,
where you're like, okay, maybe this is the next step.
yes,
And so, again, I hope everybody can agree that, free is just that. So you
yeah.
you have to realize this is a paid membership, and I tried to give a ton of value back for that. And
And you
so
do.
systems are definitely one of them, and tracking what we do is the other,
Yes,
for sure. We want to make sure everybody is making money. That's what we're all here to do. But it's so much more, which you've just heard Crystal talk
yeah,
about, which is amazing. So it's hello@leadtribes.com.
yep,
So leadtribesplural.com. And if you're having a little mastermind and it's been the same people and things aren't moving along, like maybe you have a little group and you want to see what is possible, please,
yes,
I'm looking for leaders all the time. And I have flipped mini groups into full tribes because I know how to support and build them now. So I'm really excited. We are moving all across Ontario, and hopefully out of the province very soon. And I'm open to all of it because I do think that I fill a gap in the networking space. I really do. Like you have to go to the chamber, yes, 100%. And the chamber also serves a great service.
yes,
And we are not competition because we meet weekly. And so it's very different. And so you have to find the right fit. If you're really good at
yeah,
being a good business owner, means that you're going to find the right fit for your business,
for sure.
and find that network. So I would love that network to be Lead Tribes. Of
Yeah,
course, I know that we are going to be Canada's exclusive referral network. We're here
love it.
with intention and support and so much more. So much
So
more.
good. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, that's really cool. And guys, what's nice with Lead Tribes is that you can actually come. I did not go this route, but I do recommend it. You can come out to a meeting and we actually have a promo code. So there's usually a cost because, again, to Linda's point, it is tough when it's free to see the value. And I was the hardest person to agree with this because I ran groups for years, but they were always free because I didn't want to deal with one more thing on my plate, which was collecting and tracking people's money. Um, but what I love is how people are looking at and it's not that expensive, but how people are looking at this move as an investment, which means they're taking it more seriously and they're working really hard to do all the activities that can help build their businesses. Now, Linda, you also have a commitment that you've made to try and multiply people's investments every year. What is that number that you try to help with people's
Yeah, it's actually the average. So the three times your investment
nice.
is very standard and easily achieved here at Lead Tribes.
Yes.
And yet we have 35 times investment right now as well.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
mean that's the beauty of, there's no limit, but we do expect you to make at least three times for sure.
And that's
And
the thing,
and
guys. Yeah.
what you were saying too is like the way I've been mentioning it lately is like for $31 a week, right? You're going to go out for lunch with one person and one prospect and hope
Yep.
that you get that one customer. This is again a mind shift to say, oh, what if I spent $31 a week having lunch with or breakfast or whatever with my marketing team, my
Yes.
tribe,
Yep.
who really genuinely wants to see me win and give me introductions and give me
Yes.
resources, give me all sorts of support. What's the cost of that? Like it's
Much worth
nominal at
it.
this point. And even for yourself, Crystal, I'm going to reverse it now.
Yeah.
Since you've been a member, um, have you received any referrals?
So yes, but I would say I'm a bit of a unique situation because um, they're not from new people, but I do think that there's more of an incentive to 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 connect me. So I've gotten more connection referrals,
Mhm.
um, and building those bridges, which is really cool. And what I've also noticed in my group, I really like that I'm able to see but I give out a lot of business to them, but I'm seeing them give business to each other, which is beautiful. And I think, and I will say, guys, like as the realtor in a group, it's hard, um, because yeah, it's hard. Like in our group, I've already like sold homes for three of the people in our group. So it's like it is tough, but at the end of the day, what I am seeing is the excitement to connect and build business, and I'm seeing the results come. If you, any of you are thinking of leadership as well, one of the reasons, and Linda touched on it, so her whole team, they work really hard on this weekly presentation. Um, and for me, one of the things I would do a monthly meeting, and one of the things that I would spend time on was creating this agenda and going through it. Um, and it was okay. Like I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It was not like I just threw it together. Like it was fine. And it was really like we led the conversation, but the continuity wasn't there. And what I love is that you go, you have it timed out, which was a challenge for me, but I've risen to the occasion, but timed out, and we know what to expect. And then at the end of the meeting, if we want to stay and talk more, we stay and talk more. It's cool. Um, but I really like the work you guys put into that because you've built it in, like you've curated this meeting. So as a leader, it's very just like set it and go, right? You come, you just get to lead and help and do all the things you really wanted to do, not create an agenda. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's the DIY part where most leaders are like, oh, I got to create the slide deck or I've got to do this. I got to come
yes,
up with an activity. I have to come up with these things. Well, I give that to you so that you can just, yeah, be
yes,
awesome and run that meeting with your high energy and
yes,
be you and infuse a bit of like your coaching and experience and things like that to help other entrepreneurs. And that's it. And by the way, the power hour is exactly enough time that people they come in, they see there's like the structure, there's like purpose and an intention, and then like there's camaraderie because there's a breakout, so you get to like actually engage with people, and then it's over. I mean, I literally had never have to tell anyone to get off their phone because it happens so fast
yes,
and it's fun. And
yes,
so you got to pay attention too. And so we have like FOMO. We have the people that miss it, right?
yes.
Oops. And there we go. Sorry about that. And we have people who say this day of the week is my favorite day of the week because that's where my meeting is. And so I'm like, oh, okay. See, this is such a
Yeah,
that's what I want because that's where when I had to leave the group that I was with to take a break and come up with this concept, that's where it was pulling me because I was dreading going to that meeting
yes,
and it was draining me and I was like, "Oh my gosh, okay, there has to be a way to have a good time, want to go. The pandemic taught us where you spend your time is super valuable. Don't waste it." And
100%.
so, like, can we not just have a fun adult space to evolve without
Exactly.
judgment?
Yeah.
And so that's the
And
balance.
we found it.
And we
Yay.
found it. Yay.
Okay. So
Yes.
we are almost out of time.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you might share some information about your upcoming event. So I just was wondering if you wanted to still do that.
If everyone would like to book their calendar, it's going to be an amazing, amazing day. Tuesday, November 17th is our next referrals to revenue masterclass workshop, whatever we want to call it, day. And so it will be in the Halton area. I will give you details for that. It'll be on the website very shortly, but it's basically one of those things that you want to just mark your calendar and know that you got to be in the room. You got to be in the room.
Perfect. Linda, this has been so great. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh my
Thank
gosh.
you.
So guys, um, info, or sorry, hello. I
Hello.
actually sent you an email to info and realized you never got it. So hello at leadtribes.com. Linda Walters, who is the Chief Visionary Officer. Now you also, what was your, you just shared a cool networking one that I asked you about, and you're like, what is it?
Yes. So I have my recent designation of PHC. So that's my powerful human connector. That's who I am.
Yes,
That's who you are too, Crystal. But I just realized like I've connected so many people and it
yes,
brings me
you
so
have.
much joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. No, I love that one. We should trademark it and then like start
Yeah.
a course. Actually, maybe it's something that
Maybe.
people can get after
Oh.
referral to revenue. We can brainstorm later. Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening. Linda, thank you so much for sharing this time with us.
Thank you.
It was amazing. I'm Crystal Lemore Lucier, also known as your Home Sweet Home 519 Realtor, Crystal Lemore, and this has been Realtor Life talking with Linda Walters of Lead Chives. See you next time. Bye,
Woohoo.
guys.
Okay, bye.